Yeah, I'm talking to you. You probably asked me a question and I might be answering it in this video. In my last video, I asked you to ask me unhinged questions, but a lot of you are decent people and have respect for another person on the internet and just ask me sincere questions that you would like an answer to. So anyway, let's go ahead and get started. So the first question someone asked me was, how often do I get invasive questions? And right now, as I'm making this video, not many. Most people, I mean, if I, like, okay, like I've gotten hate comments, but like none of them are like that invasive. Like one time someone was like, you realize testosterone is gonna kill you and it's a steroid. Oh, sure, thanks, bud. Thank you for the concern. But most of the time I don't really get that many invasive questions. And then with that said, here's the next question someone asked me, and this is word for word because this needs to be said word by word. Do you still have an ovary or a different one? So what if I told you, I still have both? So I think the thought process behind this person asking this question is they think I've gotten a hysterectomy or they're just shooting in the dark. But when you go to get a hysterectomy, you can either choose to remove both ovaries or keep one of them. And the reason for keeping one of them is so then your body can still produce estrogen. So if you were to lose access to testosterone, your body can still produce a hormone, which scientist lesson, your body needs hormones to live. Well, maybe not live, but like to function properly, or else you're gonna get osteoporosis. And related to this, someone asked me, do I use a packer and how bad is my bottom dysphoria? Also, before I answer this, if you are my family, if you know me, maybe skip ahead. I don't know if I want to have you know this information about me, but I'm here to answer the questions of the people. But anyway, I do have a packer. I don't love using it because honestly, my bottom dysphoria isn't that bad, and it's more like thinking about like needing to always adjust it and like not knowing how it looks and worried about people looking at my junk, stuff like that, and like knowing I'm like wearing it and like the way I like to wear it, it just like is kind of uncomfortable. And so most of the time I just like literally 9 times out of 10, 9.5 times out of 10, I don't wear it. But the one I do like, I've only purchased 2, but it's from the same company too. But anyway, it's from Bornwear, pretty affordable prosthetics. That's what I would recommend. It's a low profile and it doesn't look like anything that's going on down there that shouldn't be happening. But my bottom dysphoria before testosterone was definitely worse, but now that I have BG, it's definitely minimized. Anyway, we can open our ears and to the next question, and that is, how can you tell if pronouns feel right? Honestly, it can be an interesting process, similar like when you're like trying to figure out like a new name that you want to go by. It's because when you're called something for so long, even if it makes you uncomfortable, there's like a trial error of like trying to figure out what does feel right, and then you got to get used to it. And so even if you like a certain set of pronouns, you got to get used to hearing them. The best way is like people you trust, using them in your head and like asking people to try out these pronouns and to see like over some time how it makes you feel. So sorry, I can't tell you like the exact science to it because there is no exact science. And then a few of you asked me this was, how did my family react to me coming out and what was my situation at the time? So I've come out to my family twice. The first time was when I was coming out to them, telling them I had a girlfriend. I didn't come out to them saying like, oh, I'm bisexual, oh, I'm a lesbian. I just was like, yeah, so you know how I just went on that trip with my best friend? We're actually dating. That's how I went about it. And I was living with my family at the time, and most of them had a positive reaction. I don't want to throw anyone under the bus and specifically badmouth anyone because I just don't want to do that. But some people did have a hard time with it at first, but they have come around. And we're all on the same page that I chose to do things that would overall make me a happier person, and they have seen that the decisions I have made me happier. And then when I came out as trans was after I had moved out, and so I think having that space away from them to kind of more explore my identity and like not have them like see like the baby stages of me figuring it out kind of helped. To me coming out as trans, it also was like a positive reaction, and it just took them time to get used to it because, I mean, as I mentioned in another videos, obviously when someone tells you new information of any regard, it'll take some time to adapt to it. So one person asked me is, how has transitioning affected my fashion? It just helped me get back to wearing things that I liked wearing when I was younger, because I loved wearing shirts that buttoned up and had collars to them. But then eventually I was like, oh, maybe I shouldn't wear that. That's like too masculine and people are gonna think I'm a boy, and so I shouldn't wear those. And then eventually I was like, oh wait, I can start wearing these again and not have to like worry once or like think twice about it. And so mainly just getting to wear the like, I just really like button-ups and polos. And then also I'm trying to like, one of the things that like made me really dysphoric was being seen as younger than I actually was. And so now I'm like seeing myself like trying not to dress young and like actually trying to dress my age, so then people see me as my age. Someone asked me, how has testosterone affected my self-esteem? And I would say my self-esteem has definitely been boosted and I feel a lot more confident. And I used to always like try to blend in. I didn't want to stand out. I still don't love being the center of attention. Even though I have a YouTube channel, I don't like being the center of attention in real life because my face gets really red. But now if like the attention that's on me isn't like, oh, is that a boy or a girl? It's more of just like, hey, look at that guy. Why is his face red? I hope that answers your question. How different do your mind and emotions feel now? So I'm gonna be honest. Well, okay, before testosterone, my emotions were kind of all over the place. I definitely had an easier time, like a easier thought process through things. Like when I was making YouTube videos when I was younger, I could like think out the whole process of like what I wanted in the video. Now I can't really conceptualize it that well anymore. I have to like really like write things out and like plan more ahead, instead of like the plan being in here, it has to be like in front of me on paper. So I guess like my mind is a bit foggier in like more of an empty void, if that makes sense. There's less voices going on up there. And then with my emotions, when I'm feeling an emotion, it is intense. What aspect of my life changed the most because of testosterone, and what improved the most? I would say just looking in the mirror, looking in pictures, looking in videos, watching myself in videos. Just, that is so nice, because I used to like take pictures and be like, oh, that's how people see me. That's what I look like. And then also like with my voice, I just really like, I hated when I would like go somewhere and like talk to someone and be like, oh, my voice is so high right now. They're gonna clock me. But now I just like again, like as I was just talking about, like the voices are quieter, and like I can just look at myself in the mirror and be like, I like what I'm seeing. And then also, okay, so that is related with testosterone, and also just the things I have done what is it called? Rizmaxing? Look maxing. Someone asked me, how did I know I was binary, trans, or not non-binary, or gender fluid? So I have made a very fairly in-depth video talking about how I've come to terms with being a trans man, which it's linked up here if you want to watch it. To kind of summarize the points in that video was, I came out as non-binary because I was scared that I'd be making the wrong decision, and identifying as non-binary felt right at the time, because it was like a place to explore how I identified. And then I realized that I didn't feel like neither or both genders, and that I did feel more connected to the like binary side of being a man, and I liked being seen as a man. Gender never felt like fluid. If it was fluid, it would have been like in the middle to masculine spectrum, which I like more realized that I really just identified on the masculine man side. Okay, next question. Is the area where I apply my testosterone rougher/hairier? No. I kind of thought that was the case, because I used to do my testosterone gel on my arms, and I do have arm hair, but I also just am hairy. But what I will say with doing injections into my thighs, the more times, this is just true for injections, the more places where you do your injection, the more scar tissues kind of build up, and so that itself becomes rougher. But I wouldn't say it's any different than any other part of my body. Another question is, did my skin get really oily, and how did I deal with it? I feel for all of you guys who have really bad acne. For me, I somehow dodged a bullet. My dad had really bad acne when he was growing up, and the only bad acne I had during my first puberty was on my forehead, and that is because I cut my hair short and I had bangs constantly here, and I had a lot of product in my hair, and so all the oils from the product in my hair messed up my forehead, and I had a bunch of acne there. But my skin did get oilier after testosterone, but what really helped it was having a more routine skincare routine. So just making sure I wash my face every day and testing out different products to see what helps my face during the day and not have it get oily. Someone asked me, how much can your chest shrink on testosterone? And it is true, it shrinks, but not maybe in the way you think it does. Your chest is built up of fat and breast tissue, and testosterone redistributes fat, and so the fat will leave your chest, but the breast tissue won't. With the fat and breast tissue, the largest my chest was like a D cup, and then after fat redistributed, it went down to like a B cup. But like it doesn't, the skin doesn't retract, so my chest became saggy is basically what I'm getting at. But it, again, this differs from person to person, but it likely will happen that you will notice a difference in chest size. Now the last question we're going to be answering today is, has testosterone affected my sexuality? And that is, short answer, yes. And some people on the internet are like, you know, testosterone, it makes you gay. You like the dudes after taking tea. Well, the real tea is most of the time being on testosterone makes you more comfortable with who you are as a person. And so if when you were younger you did have some sort of attraction to men, the idea of being with a man in a gay way is better than being with a man in a straight way. Yeah, the way I'm explaining things is great, isn't it? But for me, I always struggled with my attraction when I was younger, and so most of the time when I looked at a guy, I was like, I just want to look like you. Do I have feelings for you? Do I have a crush on you, or do I just want to look like you? And then I always found girls pretty, and like, you know, like girls are always complimenting each other, and like, I was like, well, yeah, all the girls are pretty, but like, I don't know about these guys. Like, yeah, I want to look like them, but like, I don't want to kiss you. I'm still trying to figure out now if my attraction is in fact I want to be with them, or if I just want to look like them. So I don't know, but I'm also in a happy relationship with my fiance, and so like I also don't really care to find out, if that makes sense. Right now I do still in fact identify as being bisexual. So yeah. Guys, thank you so much for watching, and thank you so much for all the new viewers and everyone who's been liking and subscribing and commenting. Really appreciate it and love the community we're building. If you still have a question that wasn't answered in this video, it might have been answered in this one, so I'd go ahead and check that one out if I were you. But guys, I will see you next week with a brand new video, and I will see you then. Bye!